releasing tension or looking for the release of tension. The other one I'm going to add to this is the letdown, or a horse letting down. So first I'm going to talk about releasing tension. So we're not, and these it's for you guys to understand, what, when I say, and this is not release, you release reins, it's talking about what you're looking for and wanting to see when your horses release tension. So releasing tension is something that we need. We're sort of basically, our main job in training horses is to show them a pathway to release tension. So our motive is releasing anxiety and tension in our horses. So anxiety is tension, anxiety. Okay, so it looks like tension as in the whole body gets tight and everything like that, but it's because of anxiety and a lack of understanding in our horses. So what I try and teach people is a pathway to getting our horses to release tension. So every decision a horse makes, or every decision we help them make, will create a rise in tension and hopefully a release in tension. So first I'll give you a scenario. A scenario could be I put a bit of feel on a lead rope and the horse pulls back, gets confused. It goes, and with that confusion, it part of its mind might go to a flight response. It's going to want to move away from that pressure or find an outlet that's, So we've just created tension by picking up the feel of the lead rope. Our job then is to get the horse to find the release of tension. So there'll be a release in the pressure, but we might, the horse might say move its feet forward, for instance, and will release, but the horse might still be carrying the same amount of tension, as in still quite tight, and it just released and it's still worried and frazzled. So what we're looking for is not just the feet to move, but we're looking the horse to think about what it's doing. And when it's thinking about what it's doing, it's going to start to relax a little bit more. And you'll see a release of tension in your horse. Now, that release can be noticeable through the way it's moving its body, the tension it's carrying through all its muscles and its footfall and everything like that, the way it's got its head up, where its ears are, the tightness and shape of its eye. Sometimes that square, deep eye can be a real tight, tense eye. The wrinkles on its face, the nose, all those things are going to be indicators of how much tension the horse is carrying. I'm a big eye person. I like the eyes a lot because it gives me a real angle of their focus and where they're thinking by the shape of the inside eye, how it's tilted out or in and things like that. And I look for a softening in the eye and the horse generally starting to understand. Now there's other things that happen when the tension starts to release. There'll be a lick and a chew in horses, they'll loosen their lips up and then the wrinkles will loosen up and their ears will hook onto the idea, as in or where you are or where they're going or something like that, and their ears will loosen up. And with that loosening of expression, there'll be coming a loosening of the body and things like that. So what I'm looking for is I just want people to recognize when that horse is generally starting to sort of release some of that tension it's got, and beyond that, I've released a bit of tension. Now, releasing tension is something that, we create tension, we generally have to release it. If we create tension, then we've built up a whole pile of tension, and we don't want that. So we have to be releasing tension as we go, because some horses hold on to the last lesson's tension, and then they got the tension of the new lesson, plus they got the tension of being away from their mates, all added up on top of each other, and that's why there's a part of the lesson that the horse just can't hold it all in, and the horse sort of gets really rattled. So it's our job to monitor our horse's tension and things like that. And generally a loose, connected horse, it looks loose, soft in the eyes, got a good focus on you, things like that is what you're really looking for. Now, the letdown is the horse going from that real tight flight mode into that I'm relaxed mode. I'm relaxed and I'm just going to stand and just zone out. And that's the big letdown, when they'll sort of really lick and chew. Some horses that hold a lot of tension, they'll have lots of jaw movements and their eyes will sort of blink a lot, and they'll just generally loosen up, let their heads down. And now, you don't always have to get a horse to let down all its tension and just go into that space to gather a connection. And sometimes just letting them let down because you've taken away the pressure won't necessarily help you in your battle to get them to release tension whilst they're operating and whilst they're moving around you and towards you, and all those things. When they're riding, you just want a horse to sort of be operating. So imagine that when they're completely let down, you're in the white zone down here. That's just a zone where they go into that's not really a zone you're going to be educating them in. And imagine that the green zone is the area where they're focused, but they're soft about their focus, but they're alert. They're not got too much tension, but their awareness is up, and they're just in that sort of I'm doing stuff. Like if they were playing, they'd be aware, but they wouldn't be super frightened. But they'd still have a bit of adrenaline and energy, but not the adrenaline that just is full of tension and they want to run away and get frightened. So our idea when we release tension is we're trying to get the horse out of the red zone, which is above the green zone, and that's the red zone where they're in sort of pretty well react mode. They're reacting, they're either running away, they're either shutting down, they're either whatever they're doing, but they're not trying to search for answers. They're stressed and they're holding way too much tension and anxiety. So our job is to release tension until they get into that red zone, that green zone, where they're focused and listening, and you see them soften and generally be interested in things. So not to always put them in the let right down mode, because sometimes horses that hold big tension go let down, and then they still miss that area in the middle, that green zone where they're soft and focused and just working happily. So though it is important to get horses to let down, and some horses that have been carrying lots of tension, they need to learn to let down so they can sort of let all those gremlins out. But what's really more important is that they've acknowledged that the pathway that you've provided through your little releases of tension, through gathering focus, through distracting your horse, and being a tree and all those things, they've acknowledged that your idea, the pressure you've supplied them and all that sort of stuff, has been gaining focus, releasing tension down the ladder till they've acknowledged the connection and a sweet spot with you as, I let down because I'm with you, or you guided me there, or something like that. So it's very important that through the releases of pressure, we're releasing the pressure, and the horse is acknowledging that, we're helping them. We like to make them, we like to think that they're acknowledging that we're helping take away that tension through our guidance and things like that, and then we slowly guide them through those releases of tension into say a spot where they can just let down and just chill out and just have us there so they can do that. So, but it has to be through our ideas and a good feeling with us and connection, not just through a release of pressure, but not because we can walk away and the horse can let down, or we can step back and the horse can let down. So that's what we've got to be careful of when we're watching for letdowns in our horses. But yeah, releasing tension is very important, and that's really what I'm talking about when I say release tension. There's a lot of things to look at.